I have been wanting a solution in the garden for all the hoses we have coiled up and just lying around everywhere. This hose is kind of a mess and it looks pretty unsightly just laying there, but this actually is pretty tidy compared to what it normally is. Normally it's like halfway across this yard over by the orchard or drug out over that way to water some animals. It's normally just kind of all over the place. I actually almost hit it last night with the lawnmower when I was out here mowing the orchard. So needless to say, we've needed a solution for a long time on how to get this a little bit more tidy and keep it tidy. And Vigo Garden was kind enough to send us out 2 automatic hose reels, and that's what we're going to be setting up today. The first one Ryan already has up on the pole. Here it is right beside me, and we still need to attach all the fittings to the end here and get it actually hooked up to water. So let's go ahead and do that. To get the hose reel to where it is now, Ryan hammered in a piece of pipe that's 1/2 inch in diameter into the ground, and the hose reel just slid right down on top of it. And one of the things I'm really excited about this hose reel is because we put it on a pole instead of like a 6x6 post, it has the capability to swivel. So it should be able to give us a lot of coverage in the garden, and the hose will just retract in and out of here. So I'm really excited for this upgrade in the garden. In the box, it did come with a bracket that you can mount on like a 6x6 post or something like that in order to slide the hose reel right into there. We went with the metal pole option because we think it might be a little bit better. That way we can move the pole if we need to put it in a different location. I think it'll be good where it's at. Time will tell though. It came with a nozzle with a thumb control. The hose reel itself came in a couple different colors. We got the green one, and then I also have a white one that's over by the house. We'll install that one after I do this one. It has a quick attach feature. So you can take your hose nozzle off and on really quickly without having to screw it. I think that's a fun feature. It actually came with 2 nozzles. This piece, I wasn't sure what it was exactly at first, but just reading the instructions, it's another nozzle that you can spray. So it's got your traditional thumb nozzle and then a more high pressure nozzle. The hose reels also came in 2 different lengths. We went with the longer length just because we have a big garden. I wanted to be able to reach all areas of the garden that I could.
And we will test out this hose reel in just 1 second. But first I have to get all these fittings on and put together. It shouldn't take but a minute here. This hose reel comes in 3 different colors. The green color that you see here, a blue, and a white. The white one is over next to the house. I'll show you that one here in just 1 second. But this particular green is called seaweed green. It's kind of a lighter shade in the middle and darker on the outside. I think it looks very nice against the rest of the garden.
So we have the leader hose just going down and over here to a split over on our faucet. We also have a drip irrigation system set up for drip tubing to the beds. I really like drip tubing. We have that all over the garden. It's really nice because you don't have to water every day during the heat of the summer. But a normal hose is still necessary because when you transplant a plant or you're sowing seedlings for the first time, you always need to water those in because the drip tubing doesn't quite get it there at the first initial go. So a hose is always still needed. Plus we don't have drip tubing over on any of the orchard plants. So I'll be pulling that hose out there to water all those orchard trees this summer too. If you want to see the video on the drip tubing, I'll leave that in the description box too, so you can see all of the water set up for the garden. Now that we have fancy new hose reels and drip tubing, we're pretty much set.
I did say drip tubing, but most of the garden is actually this drip tape. The hose reel seems to be working pretty well. I'm testing out all the different nozzle spray settings. There's quite a few different options here on the nozzle that it comes with, pretty much from fine mist to shooting a really strong jet stream. I realize as I'm watering these plants here, I haven't given you guys an updated what's growing in my garden tour yet this season. If that's something you're interested in seeing, then let me know in the comment section down below this video, and I'll be sure to film it for you, because we definitely have a lot growing in the garden already.
I was just testing out the hose. This piece right here where the quick connect attaches to the hose handle was dripping a little bit, but I think that was my fault because I did not have it locked. So it does have a feature where you can turn off the hose off and on, and then you twist it to unlock and lock it, and then you can pop it off. There's some water in there, but I didn't have it twisted. I had just popped it in. So that was my fault. I don't think that should happen again. I just need to remember to twist it locked once I put it in. And I'm pretty sure you can use your own hose nozzle for this too, and it would just attach to the hose like a normal hose. So if it becomes an issue in the future, I'll just put my own hose nozzle on there. I'm excited for this in the future, at the very least, to keep the hoses off the ground and tidy and put away. Our garden is not the tidiest at the moment. There's weeds everywhere and definitely needs weed eated around here, but this is one step closer to being a little more put together. There was a perfect red strawberry right underneath this hose. The strawberries have been exceptionally good this week. We've been picking strawberries like crazy every day, and I just noticed that the yarrow is blooming. And it has so many different pretty pastel shades. There's little pinks and whites and pale yellows. I like this mix. Let's go over to the other side of the house and I'll show you the white version of the green one. We put the other hose reel right here next to our retaining wall fence. I'm gonna have to get up close and show you these roses in a second because they're gorgeous right now. But this white one is the other color that we got. I like the white one even better than the green one, I think. I think it looks nice and sharp. Let's get this hooked up real quick, and then I'm gonna walk up here and show you these roses because they're really too beautiful not to show off.
I just pulled out all 130 feet of this hose reel to test it out, and it worked really well. It retracted very smoothly, but not too vigorously that it kind of gets out of control out of your hands. It kind of just gently pulls back into the machine or box, whatever you want to call it. It does say in the description of the instructions not to let it go just freeform, willy-nilly back into the box. You want to kind of let it guide back in. Easy and controlled. There's also a handle here on the hose reel, I guess if you want to lift it and move it around. However, it is pretty heavy and I don't see myself moving it off the pole, simply just using it to pull out and water the garden or any flowers that may need a little extra drink of water.
I really like the fact that it can swivel any direction so that you can pull the hose where you need it to go. I think it looks sharp. Eventually the plan is for this to become a bed as well. We have some mulch lying here actually to work on that project. It's just on the list of many projects we want to work on. We want to put a bed right here mainly because we really don't like weed eating, and this area always gets pretty high with grass because the lawnmower can't really get in here. So this will become another flower bed. And I think I'd like something to climb this cinder block retaining wall situation. Currently I have this Eden rose, which I'm going to walk over there in a second and show you up close. And that's climbing the other side of the fence retaining wall. On this side, I'm thinking either another rose or maybe jasmine. My sister-in-law has some really pretty jasmine on her front porch, and I might try to propagate some of that and plant that here. I don't know yet. Let me know if you think I should do jasmine or another rose here on this retaining wall. I think whichever method we do, we will probably use some like masonry screws or hooks and put wire trellising on the wall itself versus trying to add a metal trellis like that or something. Because I want something pretty large that's going to cover the whole surface area, because I think the cinder blocks are kind of ugly. Let's walk over and look at these roses now. I have quite a few roses blooming right now. I'll do a full rose tour video here soon for you guys, but in the meantime, let me at least show you this Eden rose because it's just spectacular. I almost gave up hope on this Eden rose and the location that it's at because the first 2 years, it didn't really do a whole lot. And this is year number 3. This actually might be year number 2. I don't know. My brain does not work these days, y'all. It's either year 2 or 3 for this rose. Anyway, the first little while it was in the ground, it looked sad and it didn't produce that many blooms. Now it's really taken off and there's like hundreds on there. Let me just show you. Look, isn't that beautiful? I think it's really beautiful anyway. And it gets me really excited whenever I come outside just to come over here and stare at it. I love roses. It is just covered in beautiful flowers. We just had really heavy rain for the last few days, so there's a little bit of spotting on this rose, but it still looks gorgeous. Even with the little bit of browning on the outer petals from the rain. Like, look at that. I just think that rose is so gorgeous. I am going to do a full rose tour. I've had a few requests for that. There are lots of roses blooming right now all around the house, but I want to have time to dedicate that to a full video so I can go through and tell you each rose name and variety as we look at all of them. And there's a lot of stuff getting ready to be harvested in the garden too, so stick around, subscribe, and stay tuned for all those types of videos this summer. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. My name's Cara. Bye, y'all.